What's goody, everybody? Welcome back onto my channel. It's your boy, the Self-Aware Savage. And man, today's video is gonna come from the heart because let me tell y'all, I always thought the more money that I made, like the easier it would get to date and to like find that person that I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with. But it's been the total opposite, you know what I'm saying? What was crazy is when I was broke, could barely afford dates, lived at home with my mom, your boy like always had a shorty, you know what I'm saying? And it was like insane. But on the flip token, now I'm in a place where I can afford to pay for dates, you know what I'm saying? Accounts is all starting to look real good. Hey, keeping a woman, oh my God, it's become the most difficult thing on the planet. Now, I ain't talking about just one night stands and randomly clapping cheeks. I think that's gonna be easy whether you broke or whether you getting money. We talking about today's video is why so many successful men are single. And I actually understand the reason why now. Like, I've been in this next little tax bracket for some time now, and I'm just like, okay, I see what the problem is because I've run into it more than once. And so this video, of course, is for my fellas because I want to give y'all this heads up. If you already in this realm and you wondering why you struggling, or if you about to break through, you know what I'm saying? And of course, if you're struggling to break through, always feel free to reach out to me. I do one-on-one life coaching to be able to take you to that next level, you know what I'm saying? But then also for women, if you just happen to be watching this video because you want to know what I'm about to say next, hey, I'd also say by the end of this, you'll be able to get you a successful man. So let's get right into it. So one of the first things we gotta do is check the statistics, because you can have whatever emotional feelings you want about things, but facts are facts. It's like the same thing with a person's net worth. You know, it's your liabilities plus your assets and your net worth. So even if you make $200,000 a year, but you $500,000 in debt, that puts you at a negative $300,000 net worth. You know, this is just facts. And that's how I like to do things first. And then we can just start filling in all that extra nonsense that make people feel better. Okay, so we're gonna go off the biggest criteria we see all the time, which is 6 figures, 6-pack, no kids. For this initial run with our bestie ChatGPT, I'm gonna keep the 6 feet out of it, right? And I'm above 6 feet, so I'm even keeping me out of this criteria at this moment. So right now, how many men in the world have a 6-pack, make 6 figures with no kids? Let's find out together. Hey, look, it's calling it out. This is that rare combo that gets thrown around everywhere, you know? And so it's going through our men in the world, about 4 billion, okay. Make 6 figures. It's being generous, by the way, you know? Visible 6-pack, 5.6 million, okay. Have no kids, okay, by age 40. So it was pretty fair with that. So that would mean 1 in every 1,250 adult men globally fit that criteria, okay? So that's 0.08%. Now, let's add in over 6 feet tall. Just in case you fall in this criteria. I want to make sure I'm covering all my fellas today. So because the formula for why this is ain't gonna change. But let's go off the statistics. Okay, so now we're gonna go through this. I'm gonna just let it shoot through. It's covering just the regular things. And that will put you at about 1 in every 89 adult men worldwide. So 0.0112%. Yikes. Now, before we continue, if you fall in either of those categories, give yourself a round of applause. You are different. You are special. You know, I don't remember the numbers right now anymore, but you are either 1 in 1250 or 1 in 8900. That is big time, all right? Let's just make sure you applauding yourself and appreciating yourself for your hard work. Because I remember when I first touched 6 figures and how good that felt for me. And I honestly didn't celebrate it because the first thing I started being like is, oh, okay, I gotta now get to 7 figures because it's still not good enough, you know? And to be honest, with all this inflation and everything else happening, slowly but surely it's not feeling good enough, but it is still a great milestone and not something that should be shunned upon based on people living with these pay now, pay later lifestyles, okay? Now, why did I bring up those statistics? It is because, first and foremost, you see how rare it is to run into a successful man. So if you're right now in one of those categories, the possibility of a woman even running into you is already a rarity, right? Because she don't know, you're not walking around with a stamp on your head that says your statistics, right? So it's this guess and gamble that they're making. But then there's a second component of this, and this is the real reason why so many successful men are single. And it is because most women in general are scared of rejection, and so they will wait for someone to shoot their shot at them to just make sure that they always kind of got the upper hand there, which totally makes sense. Like, it's perfectly fine. This is how society has been structured. I've always enjoyed approaching women and talking to them, and so I don't take any fault in that. But the downside to that is that, see, as men, when you start leveling up the type of women you talk to, remember, we're the ones always being assertive, so we know how to keep reformulating, right? See, if you meet a woman that do DoorDash and then smoke weed on the weekend, and you do that as a hobby, right? You're not most likely gonna take them serious. You know what I'm saying? So you got a formula for that, how you gonna do that. If you got a woman that work in tech, work out hard, don't do no drugs, looking for a future, you got a formula for that, right? If you got the IG baddie that just want bags and clothes and to go out to fancy restaurants, there's a formula for that, right? Like, as men, because we always out in the wild, I'm gonna use it in this, like, you know, king of the jungle energy, we always looking to devour our prey. We got to figure out different strategies to devour. But for women, it's not the same. They don't have to articulate new strategies. They just go off what the man is giving them. And now y'all starting to get it as I'm saying it. So the reason why so many successful men are single is because a lot of women don't know the formula to keeping one. And that's the key word there. We're not talking about they can shoot somebody a DM to end up on a yacht to get their cheeks clapped, right? That don't count. You could get invited to a mansion party, but you and her and her homegirls all get slutted out for that weekend or whatever, then they just return back to their lives. That don't count. We talking about you actually being able to keep the individual that you are with. And this is why so many of us can't get a woman, because the formula they running applies across the board. Whether it's the guy that works at Popeyes that lives at home with his mom, whether it's the person doing DoorDash with no future dreams and 3 roommates, whether it's the successful guy working in tech in really great shape and traveling the world, whether it's, you get my point. No, the 1%ers, y'all can't try to categorize them because they already at such a place where this type of stuff don't even matter anymore, right? Like getting on a yacht, being in a mansion, driving fancy cars, it don't mean anything to them to drop 20, 30,000, in a day. That's not a stressful day. Me, I can't drop 30,000 in a day, right? I had to figure out why exactly do we need 30,000? Like, what exactly is this going towards? What's the cost benefit analysis, right? I'm still at that place, but I'm about to see some strategic plans before I'm willing to fork over that kind of money. You know what I mean? And actually, I do got it to liquidate, but it's just the point of, we're gonna have to talk a lot more, And so, due to this, women formula just makes us uninterested. I'll give y'all a great example. So I give 2 different examples, actually. So there was one shorty who I was talking to, and she, for some reason, kept up-leveling her expectations based on my income. And I was confused. It was like she lived at home with her family. She paid barely any rent, and she had just a minimum wage paying job. Super dope, cool person. I had no issues with that, right? I was still making it work. But then it was like their selection choices on dates and the restaurants they wanted to go to. It was things that I could pay for, but not them. And so I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, this is not going to work. Like, from a business aspect, you're a liability. Your decision making makes you financially illiterate. Like, this isn't going to work, right? And so that's just one simple example. Someone that didn't know how to redo the formula, right? They was just trying to see what they could get, see what they could take. It's not going to work. I see through these things. Why? Because I'm aiming for bigger goals. I had to work hard as hell to get where I'm at, and I'm already looking there. And that's how a lot of y'all think too. And then I had another one who I was talking with her. I could text her, call her, plan any dates. She always responded promptly and would always be ready to go. But she never, ever, ever would reach out to me to just check on me, right? Like, everything came from my end, and then she would just like respond back, you know? And what that told me, again, business mindset, you aren't investing back in me. You're just being a recipient of the benefits that I can provide. Now, I know a lot of y'all might be fooled by things like that to say, oh, well, I mean, bro, that means you are her top pick, bro. It don't matter. Listen, I'm gonna just teach y'all a valuable lesson right now. And this is pertaining to the video and just in general. If you are currently dating someone or you are in a relationship with someone and they are not investing in you, that is why you can be left so easily. When you are investing in something, you don't want to lose it because you are actually putting your time, your energy, your finances, your effort, you're all putting it into this thing to make it work. And so you want to see it through. If someone is not investing in you, then that means that whether they see it through or not doesn't matter, because they'll just hop off one cock and just hop to the next one. So I hope I also just gave y'all another gem in that. You know what I mean? And so with all this being said, now you all see why so many men who are successful are single, because of the point that the women who we run into a lot of times, it ain't that we can't attract women. It's the point that their formulas on how to talk to us aren't working. It ain't vibing to the layer or level that we need. And a lot of us are coming to the table with that level of, you know, this is where I'm coming from. I would love for you to sit at the table with me. See, I'm not even asking, what do you bring to the table off the back, right? I just, come join me. But to join me does mean you at least got to assist with the setup. You can't just sit down. I bring you a plate. I bring all the food. I bring all the drink. I bring the napkins. I go get the trash can. I clean the table after, and I keep resetting it every single day. You see the problem with that? Like, it ain't going to work, right? Because now I see that you're a liability, and I'm not going to keep a liability around. In a lot of those cases, this is why, like, the guy would just clap the cheeks a couple times and be like, okay, I'm over this, because I'm looking for somebody who thinks long-term like me, And with that, I just solved why successful men are single epidemic. So if you are a woman and you're watching this, now you know how to keep a man who is on his ish, right? How you treat the guy at Popeyes, you can't treat the guy with that really successful job that way. Why? It's just two completely different mentalities. You know what I'm saying? You need to have a formula for this person, and you need to have a formula for this person. And men, if you're starting to win more and more, and you notice your mindset changing like mine did, right? Then you are going to have to recognize that a lot of women have not developed a formula to be able to talk to you. I mean, you just saw the statistics. You're either 1 in 2,000 or you're 1 in 9,000. You are a rarity. You're a specimen. It's going to be difficult for them to even run across guys like you. And so you got to make a choice as well. Do you want to train the woman up on how to speak to you? Or do you just want somebody that already got the skill set to be able to match you where you at? That's also a tough dilemma. And I think why a lot of men become passport bros and then they just give up on it, especially successful men, and just be like, man, I'm going to just go pay for these cheeks over here. If I want to bring one of them shorties back to the States, I'd rather just deal with their nonsense than have to like take on somebody who's blatantly like trying to use me here. You know what I mean? And so I also understand the concept of why men go and do that. Not something I'm personally a fan of. Y'all can check out my video. Actually, I'm gonna tag it at the end about why I think passport bros are done. But all that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. Definitely hit that like button. You already know, helps out the YouTube algorithm. And if you just enjoyed the video, especially if you made it to this point, comment your thoughts as well. If you're a man who are on your ish, like, am I right? And what I'm saying, it's been super difficult for you to keep a woman because she just don't know how to treat you. I'd love to hear your stories down in the comments. If you're a man that's trying to get on your ish and you need some guidance, clearly there might be some people below that can help you out. So always feel free to share your info. Ladies, if you was here and you made it to the end as well, do you see the flaws in that strategy now on how you can't treat people the same? Man, I just want to hear about all this, man. Let's always keep these conversations going. And with that being said, I will see everybody at the top.